her mind to what she's done, I don't know, but she's going to explain it, how she did it.
Wow. Okay, first of all, in full disclosure, I feel a little vulnerable tonight. I've had, so I'll explain later, but I've had a severe neurological fatigue where my whole body shakes. And it happened just before I came here right now. So, if it happens, it's not an Oscar performance. It should actually get me extra points, by the way. So, thank you, Steve, for this amazing introduction. I really feel deeply humbled and privileged to be here tonight. It's crazy. I'm scanning the rooms. I'm like, here are these people, these superhuman heroes who I have looked up to. And I'm like, you've inspired me to be the very best person that I can be. And you've gifted me with immeasurable courage to pursue not only the open water swimming goals that I have achieved, but to have the fortitude to withstand this roller coaster called life. And that's very much where I am right now. So thank you for making the trek from around the world. I know a lot of you had to travel a long distance, and that's amazing. Thank you, Steve, Antonio, and Quinn for making this possible, and thank you to the Olympic Club for hosting all of these delinquents. We're not in Speedos, we're fine. We're actually dressed, that's good. So, just know that as I stand here today, literally stand here on my own 2 feet, it's very personal. It's very personal, and it's not a pity party because I'm an optimist. But just 6 months ago, none of this seemed possible for me. None of it. On May the 6th, I watched with horror as my body fell victim to a very aggressive form of paralysis. It was a very rare nerve syndrome. The onset began with my left foot. I woke up and I was like, kept tapping it, and I was like, it's asleep, it's fine. I was just convinced that I had slept on it wrong. I thought my foot was asleep and it would wake up soon enough. Hours later, as the numbness persisted, I realized that perhaps this was something more serious. But I was still convinced in that moment that I could fix it. We're a very stubborn group of people, so I think you can relate. Hours later, as the numbness persisted, I thought a lavender bubble bath would do the trick. I mean, how crazy is that? But anyways, I did it. I'm a layperson. I have no medical experience. It didn't work. I watched in disbelief as the paralysis moved up my left leg, and then, as if it was an alien creature in control of my body, it jumped to my right leg. Spellbound with witnessing such a traumatic and inexplicable loss of function, though experiencing no pain whatsoever, it didn't even occur to me to call 911. Not at all. You know who I called? I called Nubo. I'm blacklisted from that company. I don't know. Hashtag blacklisted. Within a matter of hours, I lost the complete ability to walk. And 6 months later, I don't know how to process the horror of that day as I witnessed my body lose control as I was paralyzed from the waist down. Somehow though, being consumed by this fast-moving and surreal space of trauma and disbelief. I found myself obsessing over selecting just the right outfit for the hospital. It's true. As a seasoned ER veteran, I pondered what might be the most comfortable outfit for my hospital stay. I imagined them rolling up my sleeves for an IV, and I was actually very deliberate about it. Somehow, I managed to navigate the 3 flights of stairs from my apartment down to the street. The Uber driver was, understandably, pretty shocked. But I've been to this ER a lot. I just said, look, dude, we're 6 minutes from the ER, let's do this. And he was just like, okay. But I had blacklists from Uber. Thanks to the expert treatment from 5 neurologists, one who was told to come from his home that evening because they didn't know what the hell was going on with my body, and a team of nurses, the paralysis of my respiratory system was halted with just 60 minutes to spare. I have now spent 6 months and 6 days learning to walk again for the second time in my life. But tonight, I'm here. I'm alive. And my heart is beating with so much gratitude. Though still very much in recovery mode, I have leg braces, Exhibit A, Exhibit B. Thank you. Somebody likes this shit. Come on. Sorry for using that word. But it was a summer of Guillain-Barré. I'm appreciating so much. I'm delighting in the ability to speak, which I lost at one point. I'm delighting in the ability to move my arms, which I lost at one point. I'm delighting in the ability to move my legs, which I lost. I can barely comprehend a fraction of the recovery that I have right now. As many of you might know, I love to talk. Yes, you can talk and swim at the same time.
Yes, you can, girl. Lane 5.
Yes, lane 5. But my brain is still recalibrating. It's still learning to redirect the messages to just the right places. So in an effort to avoid any unnecessary embarrassment, for the first time, I'm relying on the use of notes. It's a strange crutch and indulgent safeguard, but safety first is my motto. To be fair, some of you might argue that my brain has been faulty for quite some time. And honestly, as I look at that trailer and try to process that little swim from 3 years ago, I have to agree. It's crazy. This sport is crazy. But it's not my fault. This crazy is so unique. And it has changed the course of my life. I didn't grow up as a swimmer. I was a classically trained ballerina for 15 years. But 10 years ago, having experienced at that time, my second near-death experience, and a mere 30 minutes from the amputation of my right leg from the knee down. I was desperate for freedom. I was desperate for freedom of self. I was so mentally and physically stuck. For those of you keeping a tally, my current near-death experience tally stands at 4. There's got to be some record. Where are the Guinness Book of Record people? There's got to be some record. Anyways, I guess you could say that being a perfectionist almost always comes in handy. I was tired of being labelled as a patient. I was tired of the pity parties. I was tired of being seen as other. I wanted to find me again. And so as I walked across the sand in Aquatic Park, for the very, very first time surrendering to the 53-degree water on that not so sunny November 2009 day. I felt an overwhelming freedom. And I found exactly what I was looking for. I found my church. I found my community, and not just any community. I found a rare treasure, a secret, adventurous society right here in San Francisco. I literally stumbled upon a community of superhumans and so unassuming, and I was so struck by the fact that they look so ordinary. So for me, that was the most poignant revelation. Eager to experience even a single ounce of their superhuman power, I joined the club immediately, and I fell asleep. As the days stretched into weeks and months, I recall fondly the times I dutifully studied the plaque listing the names who have accomplished English Channel Swim. I was in complete and utter awe. Each of their accomplishments struck me so intensely, and that those members became my idols. Despite being a beginner swimmer, I soon aspired to similar goals. And the best part was this: nobody questioned my desires. Nobody tried to talk me out of it. In fact, it was the exact opposite. Instead of saying, "Why the hell would you do that?" I was struck by a unanimous response of, "Yes, you should do that. How can I help?" So joining the Dolphin Club and the South End Rowing Club, I have had the great fortune of learning truly transformative, valuable lessons. Most importantly, I know now that there is nothing solo about a solo swim. It is a team effort all the way. I'm proud to say that my achievements could not have been possible if not for their gift of encouragement and inspiration from a very special community. I would not be here today without their support. So right now, I'm drawing on the strength of each of you, this community. It's taken a lot of courage for me to be here tonight and share my thoughts. But I need you all now, and more than you might ever imagine. Thank you for getting me to this point and reminding me that the impossible is possible. So, when you leave tonight, when you leave San Francisco this weekend, and you return to your own aquatic and endeavoring communities, I want you to remember this. Never underestimate the inspiration that each of you provide with your incredible accomplishments. Know that no one story is better than the other. Each is just as powerful as the other, and that's precisely what makes a sport so amazing. The spirit of this global community is unparalleled. So please, please keep being you. Please continue helping and encouraging each other, and please continue to share each of your awe-inspiring feats with friends and strangers alike. It costs you nothing. You know what? You might just change someone's life. You might just throw them the proverbial lifeline that they need at just the right time. So thank you. Thank you for gifting me with the lifeline I needed exactly at the right time. Thank you. room full of superheroes.
We have now the 4 categories of the Wowza Awards. I'll give you a little background why these awards came about. 2005, Shelley, if you could raise your hand. 2005, the young lady over there messaged.
So hi, I'm Kim, and thank you all for being here tonight. Marathon open water swimming. What is that exactly? Don't worry if you find yourselves asking yourselves that question. It's perfectly okay. You're not alone. Marathon open water swimming is a strange sport, an aquatic endurance event, sometimes as long as 24 hours non-stop, where the competitor is your mind. And the rewards are far from standard. No gold medal, no cash prize, and you don't even get the opportunity to stand on the podium. In fact, the reward is far more valuable. More on that later. Oh, and forget live streaming. You won't see the sport on ESPN. It is definitely not a spectator sport. I doubt many people would have the patience to sit on the couch and watch the monotony of stroke after stroke. Drama is common, but the timing is not predictable. As such, our audience is particularly slim, with just the boat captain and his crew, together with a handful of friends and family along for the ride. And that glorious, hard-earned finish, well, forget about it. When the swim is completed, the athlete is hauled back onto the boat unceremoniously, like a lobster catch. The boat captain, well, he's pretty much off the clock. But there's still a very long journey back to the country of origin. Most of the time, the swimmer and friends fall fast asleep. The sport sounds enticing. You constantly have to convince yourself that you can, in fact, swim from one country to another. English Channel, Strait of Gibraltar, North Sea Channel, to name just a few exciting destinations. And in case you're curious to delve further into the minds of swimmers like myself, I'll dangle a proverbial carrot with this little tidbit. All marathon swimmers eventually will assertively ask what they believe to be a rhetorical question. Why on earth would you take a boat or a ferry across the English Channel when you can swim it? That's true. Athletes willingly put their lives at risk, traversing vast stretches of water, cold water, warm water, rough water, whatever Mother Nature serves up on the day of the swim. Oftentimes, swimmers are the only humans in that stretch of water, proving conclusively that this is an odd athletic endeavour. Wildlife encounters are all but guaranteed. Bull sharks, great white sharks, Portuguese man-o-war, lions, maned jellyfish, to name just a few. Hypothermia is equally guaranteed, and it really is simply a matter of when a swimmer's body will eventually give in to the challenging elements. Despite this, each swimmer trains meticulously, taking full advantage of the only element that exists within our control. Unlike the safe, closed confines of a temperature-controlled swimming pool, devoid of any marine life, the only component we actually control is a self-motivated adherence to a near all-consuming training plan. At the peak of training, it is not unusual to dedicate 5 hours per weekday swimming, all the while juggling the commitments of a full-time job. Yes, I do have a job. Saturdays and Sundays are spent submerged in the briny, cool waters of the San Francisco Bay. Rinse and repeat. On the day of my swims, I have learned to surrender all control while praying for the absence of any wildlife encounter. I hope my mind and my body will willingly cooperate as planned. It is a strange, uncomfortable attempt trying to control that which is completely out of control, Mother Nature. But make no mistake, as an educated woman, I have not only volunteered, but I have consented to this perilous path, simply because I have been gifted with the freedom of choice. And while none of my swimming achievements were handed to me, each swim required effort, dedication, and commitment, allowing me to fulfill a personal sense of pride. I am the first to admit that none of this would have been possible if not for a launch pad provided by the love, nurture, and direction from my two educated parents. From the very beginning, my life has been systematically and culturally guaranteed to be quite different from the lives of the young women in the Himalaya for whom we are all gathered here tonight. I had the good fortune of being born into a predictable geography built upon a solid foundation of institutionalized beliefs and legislation designed to prevent horrors such as human trafficking. The girls in SGT were not. I grew up on a sheep and cattle farm in New Zealand. Ballet was my passion, and I danced under the Royal Academy of Dancing for 15 years, until the age of 17, when I left New Zealand to attend UC Berkeley for both my undergraduate and graduate degrees. Go Fast forward 10 years ago, I learned to swim. I had these options available to me. The girls in SGT do not. And so tonight, I stand before you as a product of opportunity and geography. Girls in Nepal are disadvantaged by geography and certainly lack opportunity. The American Himalayan Foundation, SGT, can't do anything about geography, but I am thrilled they are stepping up to give these girls opportunities and choices. Each of my swims were completed without a wetsuit and without a shark cage. I was lucky to have a dedicated team of friends, family, and experts who shepherded me across the sea. They were with me every stroke of the way, monitoring my progress and well-being, and also feeding me with a drink bottle, just like a pet seal on a rope, every 30 minutes around the clock. But most importantly, they encouraged me and believed in me all the way. They were an integral part of my success. I have learned that there is truly nothing solo about a solo swim. It is a team effort all the way. Therefore, it is no exaggeration to state the obvious. My life has been thoughtfully planned, pretty much since the moment I was simply a twinkle in the eyes of my parents. From what I have learned, this is not the case for the poor girls from rural Nepal. But we all know this sad reality. Our collective humanity is a shameful, well-rehearsed history and reality of drastic inequality and denial. I wish I could share so many of these thoughts tonight directly with the young girls and their families in the Himalaya. I wish for them to trust in their journey of life never before imagined, filled with all that I have taken for granted. I wish I could share with them that I have learned simply with the opportunity and privilege of voluntarily facing my own fears of sharks and failure, all of which tonight seems embarrassingly trite. But I am comforted to know that the American Himalayan Foundation, Aruna, and SGT are there for them to help them face their fears, protect them from human sharks, and inspire them not to fail. So the driving force and motivation shared by each of us tonight may be distilled to one single thought, one single idea, one single six-letter word: prevention. And it starts with the establishment of role models. And SGT produces these in spades. The SGT cycle of saving girls who then in turn become saviors themselves is incredibly moving. Yet it is precisely your generosity and time and interest as represented this evening that provides hope that their lives are worthy of change. Thank you for your support tonight and continued support, enabling more women the opportunity to dare to dream. Thank you.
Right? Nothing's impossible if you're brave enough to say yes. And she has had a remarkable journey from thinking that she was never going to be able to walk again to swimming 7 oceans on this blue planet. She swam from the Farallon Islands to the Golden Gate Bridge without a wetsuit.
Oh my God.
I know, just thinking about it. So, please welcome Kim Chambers.
Wow, okay. I'm inspired to seeing all of you here today. I think this is amazing that you're here, learning new things, you're curious. I was going to get us to do a little stretch beforehand because this is the athletic portion of our day. I'm just going to grab a little slide change here. Penny Contour. So, wow. I really actually remember being around your age. Sort of, I think, who's 13 in the room? 13-year-olds? Yeah, okay. Well, I actually remember being about your age and wondering about what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I love that there's so many of you that want to be veterinarians. I grew up on a sheep and cattle farm in New Zealand. I love animals, and there were dogs in the room. I'm very distracted. So, I'm glad that I'm here. So I grew up on a sheep and cattle farm in New Zealand. My 2 brothers, and I feel very lucky, like Sashi. I had 2 amazing parents who always believed in me. And I've found that when you decide what you want to be when you grow up, I actually thought I wanted to be a ballerina. I danced for 15 years. Then I wanted to go to college, so I actually went to Berkeley. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
So I actually came to this country when I was 17. I can't believe my parents let me go at such a young age. But I'm here to tell you about my story. And I've learned that life is so unplanned. You know, there are lots of little steps in this journey for each of us. But sometimes we get knocked off course. Sometimes you hit a dead end because circumstances change. And for me, that was when I got hurt. My life changed in an instant. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about that.
The first ever Kimberly cold water swim.
The New Zealand native completed the extraordinary feat of swimming across 7 major waterways dubbed the Ocean 7. She's just one of 6 people in the world to have done it.
I read one headline, about a swimming shark festival, who would do that, and so yeah, I'm completely nuts. Does that.
Two swimmers are planning to make the year 30-mile trek to the Farallon Islands. 10% of all shark attacks worldwide take place in that area.
It became this dream. If you're gonna dream big. It's this exploration, it's this adventure.
It's going to be rougher than she's had before. It's going to be longer than any swim she's done before.
It's like Mount Everest on the North Pole in the middle of the Pacific.
Just 30 miles out there away. A long 30 miles. There's this energy about the ocean that is electric.
This is the toughest swim in the world, ever and ever.
It's completely in the hands of fate. It's so scary. So scary. It's scarier than the sharks. If you think you can't do something or if you're afraid of doing something, that's exactly when you should do it.
I didn't grow up wanting to be a swimmer. I never even thought about swimming. I was a ballerina. Going to college here, and I was working in technology. I currently work at Adobe, so I have a science background. And I was on my way to work. Well, I looked pretty good. I used to wear really, really high heels. And I slipped down the staircase where I was on. I was so particular about being on time that I was just very, very hurried that day. And ballet has given me a lot of skills, not least of which is a very high pain tolerance. So you put your feet in those little shoes. Are there any ballerinas in the room? Yay, the ballerinas! So I fell down the staircase. I hit my right leg. I kind of ignored the pain. A little bit stubborn. Long story short, I wake up in a hospital room here in San Francisco, and the surgeon walks into my room. I've had surgery, emergency surgery, and he said, "We've saved your leg, but we don't know what, if any, functionality we'll ever have." Those words sting me to this very day. You know, as a ballerina, I felt invincible. I hadn't even sprained my ankle, and here I was on my way to work, and this happened. So I spent 2 years learning to walk again. I've got some pretty cool scars, and I'm pretty proud of those. I think scars are part of your story, and they should be celebrated. As part of my rehab, I was doing physical therapy for 2 years to walk again, but I still walked with a limp. And I craved this sense of freedom, both mentally and physically. You know, when you are in those sort of moments where you don't see your way out, you really learn what you're made of. So I discovered open water swimming. You guys know how cold the bay is here in San Francisco? Yeah, how cold? Really cold. 48? Yeah, it's actually warmed up a little bit. I think it's 54 right now. So, but this is the San Francisco Bay. This is amazing, amazing stretch of water that has become body water that's become my swimming pool. So I hosted the first annual Kiwi Invitational Escape from Alcatraz. There's a video today. We haven't had one since, but if you guys would like to join me next year, maybe we can do it. But I surrounded myself, without knowing at the time, with a community of people who believed in me. As I mentioned, my parents who have always been my cheerleaders, you know, and at school, your teachers who inspire you. But I joined this club called the Dolphin Club here in San Francisco, right near Fisherman's Wharf. And I didn't know at the time, but I had joined this community of superheroes. Ordinary people doing amazing things. And nobody would say, well, that's a silly idea. Why would you do that? Everyone was so positive, and they said, well, if you can swim from Alcatraz, maybe you can swim from the North Island to the South Island of New Zealand. I was like, that sounds like a great idea, right? Who wouldn't? So I found myself surrounded by people who were always suggesting these ideas. And this is probably one of my favorite swims in New Zealand. It's called the Cook Strait, between the North and the South Island, my country. I got some visitors. swim. So here I am in this amazing sport where you're putting yourself in Lake Tahoe. You guys have heard of Lake Tahoe, right? Yeah. Okay, has anyone dipped their toe in Lake Tahoe? Okay. Well, how about swimming from the south to the north of Lake Tahoe? That sounds like a great idea, right? Well, somebody told me it was, so I did it. There it is. So I have a little GPS tracker on the boat next to me. So I'm in the water. I'm the only swimmer in the water. I'm wearing just a regular swimsuit. I don't own a wetsuit, so I can't tell you what. But we don't wear wetsuits, just a regular swimsuit, pair of goggles, and a boat next to me with a GPS tracker. And sometimes I have a kayaker. This is Molokai. Molokai Channel from Molokai to Oahu in Hawaii. And these bodies of water have wildlife. Can you guess what's in this stretch of water? Yes. Sharks. You know what kind of sharks? Yeah? Yes. So I love the sport for many reasons, not the least of which I get to be in this environment as a human in which we're ill-equipped. That's not our living room, right? The marine biologists in the room that want to be with those, you know that this is such a diverse, you get dolphins, you get sharks, you get Portuguese manwort, jellyfish. I got stung by those guys. And as you can see, this is very, very rough conditions. The wind got as high as 25 knots. And then to finish these swims, you actually have to get out of the water with no assistance whatsoever. So this swim, I've been in the water for 19 hours, non-stop. So I got in the dark, 8:30 at night, Molokai, and swam through the night, through the morning, through the afternoon. I missed lunch. And the weather conditions changed, so I couldn't get out on the beach, which was our planned landing spot. I had to climb up the wall.
Oh my God.
After 19 hours, can you believe that? Those are the rules. I had to follow the rules. And so here I am wearing my New Zealand flag, and I've got some friends and media there. And I've got a lot of, that white stuff on my skin is zinc to protect me from the sun. And I also use lanolin, which comes from sheep, that helps protect yourself from chafing, because the water is really, really salty. And I decided I would swim from Spain to Africa. Sounds like a great idea, right? Nobody told me these were terrible ideas. Surround yourself with people that say yes. That's all you have to do. So here I am. That little squishy spot there, and there's a big cargo ship. I do have the crew monitoring the situation to make sure I don't get thrown over by a cargo ship, because they move very quickly. Here I am, swimming from Catalina Island to Southern California. You guys been to Catalina?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this is 21 miles off the coast. And here you can see me, I'm being provided a little snack. So I look like a pet seal. The rules of the sport are you can't touch the boat at any time. You can't get on the boat to rest at any time. You can't have any physical contact, so there's an observer on the boat who's monitoring this whole swim to make sure the rules are followed. So I have a drink bottle on a rope, and because you might not know this, I learned this the hard way, you can't chew and swim at the same time. Think about that. Right? So I have to have a drink that's protein, fat, carbohydrates, all the things that we need to keep our little engines going. This gives you an idea. I'm the only swimmer there. Kayaker next to me. It's not a particularly glamorous sport. As you can see, we don't have to stand on a podium like in the Olympics. We just have to crawl our way over wet rocks to get to dry rocks because somebody made up that rule. So there I am, coming in. Not a good one. England to France. You guys can the English Channel? Yeah, so I decided I would swim that. And, you know, I'm sort of joking around that I would just swim it. There's a lot of training that goes into this sport. But I'm the first to say that there's nothing solo without a solo swim. I share all of these achievements with every single person who's helped me along the way, and that's been an integral part of my success. Yeah, it's a team effort. Get pretty emotional at the end of my swims. I'm crying. This is how I look when I finish every single swim. You can just change the background, Photoshop that, and that's how I look when I finish. And then what they do is they bundle you up, and what happens is your body the body temperature continues to drop. So if you're not hypothermic at this point, it's possible that you can get continue to get very, very cold. So you have to be bundled up, give it a warm drink, and then you just pass out and sleep for the boat ride back. So kind of how it is. But this is the Ocean 7. So I am the 6th person in history to complete these swims. I am the first New Zealander to complete these swims, and I was recently inducted into the International Marathon Swim Hall of Fame, and I'm proud to say I am the first New Zealand woman to be Farallon Islands. Congresswoman Spear mentioned those islands. They're actually within her district. And anybody know anything about these islands? Sharks, yes. These guys. Right? Great white sharks. It's the largest breeding area of great white sharks anywhere in the world. But it's a marine sanctuary. So it's protected, and I know sharks kind of get a bad rap. We've got really sharp teeth, you know that. But they're very, very important in our ecosystem. And they play an important role, and I'm the first to say this is shark inhabited water, not shark infested. It's their home. So I really wanted to do this swim because what I've learned with each of these swims along the way is that when you do one swim, you're like, well, if I can do that, then maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that. And so this was kind of the end point for me here with Farallon. I think I've used up all my 9 lives. But I really wanted to do this one. I've been out to those islands. You can take a boat ride out there. One of my friends, David McGuire, runs Shark Stewards. And he is one of the most important players in the legislation against shark finning. You know, when they take the fins off the sharks and they just throw them back. So he's working around the world to stop that. So I wanted to do this one because I really respect that water. I also feel really proud as a woman. This body is my vessel, and it has to be as seaworthy as possible. I got to eat Ben and Jerry's, I got to eat cakes. I mean, probably not healthy if there's any nutrition out here, but I put on weight. I put on 65 pounds for this one. Wow. 65 pounds. And I'm very, very proud of that because it is a matter of life or death in these swims. So here I am, they're putting zinc on me for safety purposes. You know, got sharks in, but let's put some sunscreen on. And it was a 17-hour, 23-minute swim. The end point was the Golden Gate Bridge, and this was the moment where I swam into the history books. Do it. So, dream big always, and I'm happy to answer questions. Come and talk to me afterwards, but thank you for your time. Okay, questions? Right there, yeah. shark? That's a good question. You know, I have never ever seen a shark in the ocean. Not once. I'm told they're there. I guess for me today, you have to pay extra for that. But no, I've actually never seen a shark. Yes, you. Right in the front.
How long have you been swimming for?
I forgot to tell you. I only been swimming for 9 years. Yeah. I forgot to tell you, yeah. So I learned how to swim as a kid, you know, like water safety, but I didn't start swimming until I was 30, 31. So never too late to learn something new. Yeah.
Because you don't use a wetsuit, how do you like mentally and physically go through the cold waters? Like how do you sort of like swim through the cold?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's, I love that it's a very sort of pure sport, right? There's not many sports out there where you're not aided by something. But there's a tremendous amount of training that goes in. My weekends would be spent 10-hour swims, 12-hour swims. I have a full-time job, so I would swim 3 to 4 hours before going to work, lift weights. So you kind of sort of get yourself into this headspace. But I think the biggest thing comes back to surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, because you really can do anything. First, we've got to believe in yourself. I hope you all do believe in yourself. But if you want some extra assistance, always surround yourself with people who believe in you. I know we're out of time, so I'll be around for extra questions, so come find me.
What's your next goal?
You know, I'll tell you guys, I haven't really talked about this. I was actually thinking I wanted to be a mountaineer. And my parents were like, okay, at what point do you just stop and smell the roses? So I'd actually been climbing mountains. I thought I wanted to do that. But I have a wonderful man in my life behind every strong woman. He's a great man. And I want to be a mom.
You can do it all. Yes. Big nose at the same time. Okay.